Attention, this is the voice of truth with a special report about real Earth. This is a special report about real Earth and how this is not the real world. Little children, there have been many Bible lies. Your enemy has spelled out and spoken. And this Bible lie concerns real Earth. Real Earth that you read about, that they talk about every Saturday and Sunday when it comes to the Garden of Eden. Can you hear them tell you about how God made the heaven and the earth? How he made the animals of the sea and the animals of the land, the birds of the air. When you hear them describing this earth based on the Bible, they're telling you a lie. When you hear them describe the Garden of Eden, and they give estimates on the size of this garden, the number of acres and the square footage involved, and they compare it to the United States, such as Louisiana, they compare it to certain provinces, they're telling you a lie. The truth of life is that real Earth was destroyed. That this world that you're presently in is not real Earth. But this is a simulation. Real Earth, when you hear them describe Adam and Eve and how they were given charge over Earth, they're not describing this world. For that world, real Earth, that you're reading about in Genesis, was already destroyed. And that makes this a simulation. For when the war happened between the living Jesus and your enemy, the serpent, the dragon, real Earth was destroyed in that war. When Manifest Red was deceived and betrayed by the serpent, real Earth ceased to be. And now you're experiencing the result of that, a simulation. Now, simulation, as defined, means to simulate, to give the appearance of something taking place that isn't real. And it is often with the intent to deceive. Little children, you have been deceived. When you've been brought into this world, you have been brought into a deception. And it is the job of the witnesses of the living Jesus to direct you out of the deception so that you no longer remain under the control of the enemy. Faith was hijacked. Reality was hijacked. Faith, little children, goes hand in hand with reality. And in this world, you're surrounded by people who have separated themselves from reality, who engage in this world as though it's real Earth. And they are called actors. That is the very definition of an actor. For this simulation which is not real, but an imitation of what is real, when you honor it as being what it's not, then that means you're an actor. And when you think of a simulation, think of how an actor simulates a wide range of emotions. They can simulate acting as though they're happy and they have great joy and jubilation. They can also simulate and express great sorrow and mourning. Think of a weatherman. When you see the weatherman tell you about the next 7 days, it's based on a computer simulation that's attempting to predict weather conditions. Simulations are used to train airline pilots on how to fly a plane. They get in a flight simulator, and through that simulator, they learn how to become an airline pilot. Little children, you are surrounded by a reality that is absent of truth. You're surrounded by an illusion of truth, an appearance of what is real, something the enemy wants you to put your trust in. And that brings us to the Bible, which is an idol. The Bible itself is a part of that simulation. And the Bible itself is like a simulator. And this simulator, the Bible, that is full of deception, causes individuals who trust in its words to live out the past, to act out past events. Remember that this idol is an implant, little children, and it's designed to implant into your mind a false reality and a false belief. Now that you know the truth that the earth has been destroyed, now you understand that the Bible and what they claim is recorded in the Bible has already happened. That all events they say are recorded in the book of the dead have already played out. And it's been put in place to divert you away from this truth, to divert you away from reality that's only found within. Little children, when you have your faith and trust in this world, what that means is you are following something that's not real. And that means you can't be real. That prevents you from receiving real life. It takes away from a person's heart because you're engaging in something that isn't real. Real earth, little children, was destroyed. And the Bible is full of deception because it makes you believe this is the real earth. It makes you believe that Adam and Eve have something to do with this present world. But I've seen real earth, little children. I've seen it in dreams. I've seen the real earth in the spirit. And the real earth is a desolate place. Remember, you're in a place we know as the underworld. And real earth is a place of hell. And the only way you're going to escape hell, the only way you're going to get out of this false reality is through the voice of truth that comes to restore your faith. Little children, the voice of truth, the living Jesus, is the only way You're going to find your way back home to the real world of the living. You see, if you follow the book of the dead, the Bible, you're not following the voice of truth, but you're following the voice of the lie. You're following King James when you should be following King Jesus. And you got to understand the truth of life, that the real earth was already destroyed. You got to understand the truth of life, that you're in the underworld, the place of hell, that the real earth is a desolate place. It looks just like a place that's been bombed by a nuclear atom bomb, that's been ravaged and destroyed by radiation. And little children, this is not a figment of my imagination, but you have to know that when you're in a world that tells you that the Bible is alive, that it's the Word of God, you have to realize this can't be the real world. How can people get away with telling you that a book talks? How can they get away with telling you that a Bible is alive when they should be telling you in the real world, if this was the real world, you'd hear a witness, and here I am telling you now that the faith was hijacked, and that the only thing that's real is the Spirit, and that if you're going to hear that anything is alive, it can't be a book, but it has to be a person. And I'm telling you, a Bible is not a person, and the Bible is not a voice, and the Bible is not Jesus, but the real Jesus. He is alive, and the real Jesus is only real to them who have feel him in their heart. The Bible is not the Word of God, but it's the word of deception, because the real Jesus is not Jesus the Jew, but little children, he's Jesus of eternity. The real Jesus, he wants you to hear his voice, and he wants you to know this is not the real world. But if you're going to get in touch with the real world and find your way back home to the real world of the living, you've got to hear that the Bible's an idol, that it's the mark of the beast, that it's the book of the dead, and an alien implant. You've got to hear that the real Jesus lives, and he's calling his people out of those prisons with stained glass windows, and he's telling you to burn that book and look within, because one is one, and the Creator's within. The Bible's an idol, and the Bible is the book of the dead.